I mean, we are on the edge of a dark precipice where the rule of law doesn't exist, at least at the federal level. And that, I don't think people fully understand that yet.
When Trump ran for president the second time, what we feared wasn't hidden behind some dark curtain waiting to jump out and shock us. It was hiding in plain sight. Behind all of Trump's idiocy, like pushing conspiracies that Biden controlled hurricanes or threatening members of Saturday Night Live or renaming the Gulf of Mexico, behind all that, there was the plan. The plan. And what was the plan? We'll get to that in a second. But first, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? It's free, and it's easier than clothes shopping for Steve Bannon. No, the plan for Trump has a long history, and it started with the roots of Project 2025, which was written by the Heritage Foundation, good friends of Trump, and they sowed the seeds for a true takeover of our democracy.
Our country is going to hell. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
And Project 2025 has at its roots the need for a ruler with complete and total power over Congress, the states, and even immunity from the courts.
If the president decides that his rival is a corrupt person and he orders the military or orders someone to assassinate him, is that within his official acts for which he can get immunity?
It would depend on the hypothetical, but we can see that could well be an official act.
It could, and why?
What's happening now in real time came directly from the pages of Project 2025.
Trump seizes control of a divided government, signing hundreds of executive orders implementing Project 2025. Trump replaces over 50,000 civil servants with hardline MAGA loyalists. The federal oath of office now requires declaring loyalty to the president, not the Constitution. Protected by the Supreme Court's grant of total immunity for official acts, Donald Trump orders the Department of Justice to arrest members of the January 6th Commission, current and former DOJ employees, and political opponents for treason, election interference, and conspiracy. He declares it to be an official act. Trump ends birthright citizenship by executive order and turns millions of American-born citizens into illegal aliens overnight. Mass deportations begin. Hundreds of thousands, including legal U.S. residents and American citizens, are imprisoned in newly built camps.
And now, in power with Congress and the courts, Trump has finally said it out loud. He is the law.
This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
So how could that happen here? Well, if there's anyone around to write the history of this, it started with a simple Hitler-esque concept. Create an enemy, lie about that enemy, frighten your followers into attacking that enemy, and you win.
What would solve the whole thing in the border if they would just start shooting? Only shoot a couple and they would go home.
You think deterrence would work?
If they would shoot.
Trump has 75 million followers, but right now he has the Congress and the courts. And even when the courts defy him, he still wins, because who and how will someone stop him?
No judge should frankly be allowed to make that kind of a decision.
If you're surprised by any of this, you haven't been paying attention. While Trump denied knowledge of 2025, you could almost see him winking.
Nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book.
And now Trump is moving on to his next plan, silencing dissent.
Protests erupt. Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office, invoking the Insurrection Act and declaring the protesters a danger to American sovereignty. He orders the National Guard to use deadly force to suppress the protests. In the wake of the bloody violence, Trump declares nationwide martial law, awarding himself new powers under the freshly signed American Sovereignty Protection Order, which defines protest of immigration policies as non-protected speech and a threat to national security.
And of course, Trump didn't do this alone. The Republican Party paved the way. And despite the foreshadowing protests of a few,
there will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
The Republican Party knelt before him, and even when he turned on them, few got off their knees. That includes Elon Musk, whom Trump once attacked.
Elon! Nah, he's got himself a mess. You know, he said the other day, oh, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist.
But now gives Musk almost unfettered control of the federal government. And now the only thing standing between Trump and the culmination of a dictatorial takeover is the courts. With 6 conservative votes on the Supreme Court, it seems like a fait accompli. But that's not my worry. Now I'm worried about what will happen, say, if Gorsuch and Coney Barrett stand up to MAGA and rule against a litany of the unconstitutional executive orders, and Trump says, go f*** yourself. What then? Now, it would be easy to blame the Democrats for not seeing the disintegration of our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, but that's the easy way out. Trump is a tumor, and the cancer is in all of us. For the 100 million Americans who didn't vote, for the 100 more that couldn't tell you their state's U.S. senator, and of course MAGA Nation espousing their hate and bigotry, yeah, Trump's descent is on all of us. And if we wish to halt this attack, the first place we need to look is in the mirror.
Goddamn right. I don't want to talk about this stuff. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.